Salute, comrades. This is Behind the Walls Talk with your founder, William McCallum, and I thank you for visiting this domain. I'm here to give you an insight into the minds and hearts of those incarcerated that have been deemed voiceless. Well, this is where their voice and stories will be told for those of you who are concerned with human beings that are in prison for the mistakes they have made and for some of the injustices that were committed against them. Resolutions for reform is the goal and objective looking to be attained. Now step into our world. This is Behind the Walls Talk, and I'm your host, William McCallum. Hold on. I pulled up on the wrong page. What the hell did I put there? What I did with you earlier? Hold on for that. I'm sorry.
Okay, no, you're fine.
Okay, I got it.
This call is from a North Carolina correctional facility.
Welcome to Behind the Walls Talk with your host, William McCallum. I have a sister here with me today who has a testimony that she would like to share with the world. From her struggles as a youth, to the love and compassion she has for her children, to the God they pray to every night, to her remorseful conviction, to her fight for freedom and redemption, and breaking a generational curse within her lineage. So without further ado, tell the listeners, my sister, what's your name and where you're from?
Hey, my name is Fana, and I'm from Greensboro, North Carolina.
And Miss Felton, what were you convicted of,
Yes.
and how much time did they give you?
They gave me a minimum of 10 years. I was convicted of accessory after the fact to murder, accessory after the fact to about 7 hit and runs, and accessory after the fact to inflicting serious body injury.
Okay. I've been looking over your case and everything, and, there's a lot of things that I felt like they left out of your case, and I would like to expound on that.
Yes. For starters, I do want to apologize to the family. I want to send my condolences out to them and, everybody who was hurt in this incident, because it took a toll on all of us. So I do want to say I apologize, and my prayers and love goes to each and every one of everybody who was involved. But moving forward, so first of all, the police did not do the job that it was supposed to do. They did not do the work they were supposed to do, and they didn't handle our case how they were supposed to handle. The detectives didn't do. They just charged us. So I say this to say because when I initially came to the gas station, they just made it seem like we were just aggressive when that wasn't the case at all. I was actually trying to talk to the girl because I did sideswipe her car and I got out and I tried to talk to her, but it escalated from there. So they made it seem like it was just an aggressive thing when it really wasn't. I was trying to do the right thing by stopping and getting out because everything on the car was legit. So that had happened. Then the police, we had made several phone calls to the police officers, Greensboro Police Department. They did not come out until 20 minutes later. The fight been going on. A fight had broke out. Me and my co-defendant was getting jumped, and they didn't come out until 20 minutes later. So I feel like if they would have came beforehand when the police, when we started making the first calls, then it could have prevented all of this.
That's right.
So.
And those are details that they really left out of y'all's case.
Yes, and then, yes, go ahead, I'm sorry.
Go ahead, I'm listening to you.
It was certain videos that they were supposed to play, when the officer initially approached me, And they did not play that video. They only played the clip of when they started arresting me. But it was 17 seconds before that when I was cooperating with them when they said that I didn't. They left that out. So, you know, I'm just confused of why. If they would have played that video, it could have helped a lot in the situation. Just like if they would have came 20 minutes early when the phone calls was being made to the police department, it could have prevented, you know. I just feel like
This call is from a North Carolina correctional facility.
they wanted to make an example, you know, out of me, so.
And then I want to also point out the fact that two wrongs don't make no right. You know, even with the situation with Zanelle got, from my understanding, Zanelle got hit with some brass knuckles. You know,
she did.
And then at the same time, throughout all of this, y'all were being jumped on. After the police was called and given the attention of the incident taking place beforehand.
Yes.
And
yes.
Two wrongs don't make no right. So why is it that y'all were the only ones that was charged in this whole incident with anything?
Exactly. And that's another thing that I just don't understand, you know, like out of all those people that was out there, me and Miranda was the only ones that was charged. And I just don't understand that because before the incident even happened with the car, like you said, Miss Zanelle, she was already on the ground, you know, from a girl hitting her with brass knuckles. Just like the girls came up there to the gas station to jump us, you know. Like, it was an accident that went wrong. I tried to handle it as a woman. I got out the car, you know, trying to talk to them, you know, because I actually knew the girl. That's the crazy part about it. I grew up with that girl that I sideswiped her car. And I tried to talk to her, but she was, I guess apparently everybody wants money these days. So she just didn't want to hear. She was like, oh, so I was like, you know what, okay. So I'm going to have to stay at this point, you know, because I didn't want to leave the scene at that point. But I didn't know.
This call is from a North Carolina correctional facility.
She was calling people up there to jump us, you know. So it got pretty ugly, you know.
Oh, so so a lot of them people that was up there wasn't originally up there initially?
No, not at all. These people that came up there, that the fight broke out with were called from the girl who I sideswiped her car. And to come to find out, when she testified in court, because in the video, of course, you know, there's a video. When I got out the car, when I sideswiped her car, I paused because I'm like, I wasn't for sure if I sideswiped her car or not. I'm not going to lie, I had one too many drinks. So I wasn't for sure, and the girls that was with me was like, yeah, you sideswiped her car. I'm like, oh man, I got to get out, you guys. I got to get out. So I got out to go talk to her, and she just started blowing up. So I'm not going to, once she started blowing up, I started blowing up, and, you know, we had a little argument, but the whole time I'm thinking she calling the police, so, you know, they can go ahead and do whatever they got to do. But she's calling girls up there to jump us, and that's how the fight came about, because she called her friends to come jump us, you know?
Yeah, so y'all shouldn't have received all that time that y'all received for the incident that took place. You know, I'm sorry, you know, and like you say, I'm sorry for the, you know, Zanelle Tucker and everything, for her family's loss and for what took place. But at the same time, though, you know, y'all shouldn't have gotten all that time, you know what I'm saying, that y'all got, especially with Miranda receiving a life without parole sentence. You know.
Mm-hmm.
And,
right.
Yeah, that's
You're
tragic on both
ends. Right. It is, you know, like, it is, you know, we in here, you know, and someone lost their life that night, Zanelle, you know, and people were hurt. So it's like everybody was affected by that, you know what I'm saying? It was an accident that went wrong initially, you know, and I felt like if we could have talked like women, which I thought was going to happen at first, then none of this would have had took place. You know, like it didn't have to turn into a fight or nothing. Nowadays, you can't even have an accident because the next thing you know, somebody will either try to shoot you or try to jump you or whatever. You know, even if you try to admit you're wrong. So it's like, what do I do? Do I stay? Do I go? You know, because now I don't know what's going to happen.
Yeah, and like I was saying, like the main thing is like the chain of events that took place. Like, for instance, let me put it like this right here. If Zanera never got hit with the brass knuckles, she's never laying behind the wheel of the Explorer. She's never laying down where she's at. And then if she's never laying down where she's at, the other individuals wouldn't have been attending to her. You know? So therefore, nobody would have been in a position for what happened when, you know, Miranda, you know, been in the position that she was in when she went in the reverse, not knowing that back now.
Exactly.
So who's actually responsible for what happened? You know what I'm saying? That's the question at hand.
The police department didn't do their job. You know. Unfortunately,
that's right.
You know, they just
Because the main thing for them was they just wanted the conviction.
Yeah.
Like you're saying, that was the easiest thing for them to do was just to convict the two of you because, you know, it's just there. But when they do their job and they really look at the situation for what it was and they really ask the questions that needed to be asked, then there would have been a whole lot of other individuals that would have been charged. There would have been a whole lot of other individuals that would have been charged, and you and Miranda wouldn't have got all the time that you have gotten.
You're right.
Yeah. Hey, I would like for you to call back. Behind the Walls Talk will continue. Back to Behind the Walls Talk with Miss Felton. And Miss Felton, so how long have you not been incarcerated?
I've been incarcerated now going on 3 years.
Okay. So how has your prison experience been since you've been incarcerated?
Not so good. I mean, this is my first time being in prison, so, you know, it's been hard, you know, trying to adjust. You know, I don't think I can ever get used to this, you know. I don't think anybody can ever get used to living in prison, you know. So, I mean, it's been tough. It's been a road. Been about one.
Have you been have they been helping you out? Like, you know, because, you know, the state, they have this mission to rehabilitate the prisoners within the institutions. Have they actually been helping you?
This call is from a North Carolina correctional facility.
Have they been helping you with progressing?
Actually, they haven't given me any help, you know.
This call is from a North Carolina correctional facility.
I've been joining classes, and I work in the kitchen. I went back to school for my GED. I took classes here, you know, but just like as far as simple help, no, they have not been helping me. They have not put me in the directions that I need to be in, or even, you know, giving us anything to look up, you know, that can help us or to help us better ourselves. It's none of that, unfortunately.
Okay, I see you going back. You said you're going back for your GED. How is that coming along?
It was coming. I recently got kicked out of school. The teacher, I was packing up my stuff. The school ended at like 3:30. We've been there since like 7 a.m. And I was packing my stuff at 3:15, and the teacher didn't like that. And she said she was really upset about me packing my stuff at 3:15, and I'm just like, oh, I didn't know, you know, because everybody, it's 3:30. I'm like, oh, I'm just getting ready, you know, I'm getting my books and stuff together. This lady going to tell me, well, you know what, you can just leave. And I'm like, okay, what does that mean? You know, do I come back? Like, she said, no, you do not come back. And so I tried to talk to her, and I was like, please, this is my last test. I want to graduate in May. And I'm like, please don't do this. I worked hard for this. And she's like, if you don't leave right now, I'm going to call the police. So she decided to pick up the phone and call the SARS and the COs back at my block. And when I got there, they ball rushed me like, you can't go back to school and all this and that. And I'm like, it was upsetting because I really worked hard for that, and I just hate that they can take stuff from us like that, and it was really no reason, and nothing could be done. I talked to the warden, I talked to everybody, because I really just want to go back to school to finish this one test, and it's not happening.
So what is the situation now?
Right now, they moved me from my block because I'm unassigned. So right now, I just had to pack up and move to another block, another cell. So right now, everything is at a standstill, unfortunately.
That's what's crazy, right? I see, because guys have to deal with the same attitude, prejudice, and biasness here in the facility that we're in, you know what I'm saying? And that's crazy because, you got this teacher, for whatever reason that she has, you know what I'm saying, to have an attitude towards you. She's supposed to be helpful. She's supposed to be somebody that's there, you know what I'm saying, for your needs, for your concerns, but she kicked you out of school.
Yes.
Probably just because she didn't agree with how you were doing things, how you were handling things, and for you to have the decision to pack up your bags on your own time.
Right.
And that doesn't make any sense, you know what I'm saying? But, we speak about the unprofessionalism of the staff and administration all the time. And this is just another case of unprofessionalism that we receive all the time from staff and administration.
Yes.
And the thing about it is, when you reported her and you told them the situation of what happened, there should have been somebody there to correct that.
Exactly.
But the only thing they do is they back each other up.
Yep. So I'm not gonna lie, it hurt in my feelings because I'm almost there. I'm excited. I was supposed to graduate in May, and I passed all my other tests, and I get down to this math test, and I'm studying. I'm trying to get this thing, knock it out the park. And I kept on my stuff, and I was like, dang, why did I pack up? So I started blaming myself, but in reality, I should not have been kicked out of class. I should not have been sent back. I should not have been escorted or none of that because I did not do nothing wrong. Okay, if I packed my stuff up at 3:15, if it was a problem, all she had to do was woman to woman is tell me, and I would have gladly opened my book and read another chapter if she wanted me to. But
that's
just
right.
Kicking me out, that was ridiculous. I'm still suffering from that.
Yeah, I could definitely imagine. I'd have been through so much dealing with staff and administration and their unprofessionalism that I got this sour taste in my mouth, and it eats me up every time I even think about it.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Like even with the I know, and this probably is like, okay, I just want to throw it out there. Even with this being a women's prison, we can't even get pads. We can't even get tampons. We gotta beg for tissue. Like the pads, they give us 4 pads. And you never know if a one is bleeding heavy or how.
This call is from a North Carolina correctional facility.
They so disrespectful with everything, and there be women officers at that. They know what women go through when it's that time of month.
This call is from a North Carolina correctional facility.
They still handle us like disrespectful, disgusting, like it's terrible.
So what is it that y'all need?
A saver. No, it's a lot of women in here, that's been here before me, and we make things happen with each other. Like, we try to help each other out as much as we can, and we try to, if we hear something about something, like from a family member, we'll pass it on, because the guards and, you know, the staff here, they're not going to tell us these things. So we try to help each other and pass things on and stuff like that. But right now, I mean, I don't know. Like, we done plead, we done cry, and nothing has been done. Like, we live in mold. You know, we go weeks without hot showers or hot water because the water is, you know, it's cold, so they expect that we just have to take showers in this cold water for weeks, and, you know, so I don't know.
Yeah, so y'all having to deal with all inhumane conditions.
Yeah.
Especially with y'all being women and everything, the cleanliness that y'all supposed to have. You know, it's hard for y'all to have that cleanliness whenever they won't give you the proper resources that you need in order to clean yourself up and everything whenever you have a menstruals and stuff like that of that sort.
Right.
The reason why I ask that question is because we have legislatures and we have people that's in position that listens to these podcasts. So therefore, you know, whenever you're speaking about these things that are occurring within the prison system, especially the women's facility, you know, I want them to take heed and listen to exactly what it is that you're saying. Because these are the conditions that y'all are subjected to. And y'all shouldn't have to be subjected to these conditions. Yeah. Because, you know, us men, you know, I'm pretty sure that, you know, what y'all are going through is worse than what we go through, considering the fact that we're men and we don't, you know, we don't have to deal with the things that y'all have to deal with on the level of cleanliness. But y'all definitely should have the proper resources and materials and everything that should be provided to you all.
Yeah. I mean, we ask, we plead, we be respectful, and it don't get us nowhere. It's like the officers here, they don't listen to people that respect them, and you know, I know I'm in prison, and I know that I'm here, and I know, you know, but don't treat me like I'm just some little animal or some, you know, don't disrespect me, because I am somebody's mother, I'm somebody's daughter, I'm a child of God. So, you know, don't just look down upon me because of what you think that you know about me, you know, because you. So it be tough because these women, like you know, the officers, they so disrespectful, and it's like, dang, and then they want to write you up for every little thing. So it's like you blow your breath too hard. They want to write you up, so now it's $10 out of your account. You know, some people ain't got it like that. So it's like, come on.
Yeah. I definitely understand what you're speaking about, and you know that's the purpose of Behind the Walls Talk, is to make sure that we show society that we are still human beings despite our worst mistakes.
Yes. Amen.
You know, and you're definitely a human being. You're definitely God's child. So they shouldn't treat you or anyone else other than that.
Yes.
Let me ask you something. Let me go back to when you were first incarcerated, when you received your sentence. When you received your sentence and the judge told you the time that you had and everything, what were the feelings that you had? What was the experience that was going on through your mind, and knowing that you're going to have to do this time?
I was devastated. I was heartbroken. I just felt like my world, like the life was sucked out of me. I tried to handle it very like you know, be calm and stuff like that, because my children were there. Like when they said we had to do trial, I was one of the first people there. Me and my children, one of the first people there, and you know, I had my head up high. I was not expecting this because you know what they convicted me of, I did not do. So I was not expecting to get that much time. So when they gave me the time, I was just devastated because my children was sitting there, and I'm like, oh God, I'm so sorry, you know, like so.
And from my understanding, you were pregnant at the time, right?
Yes, I was 7.5 months pregnant, and I was hoping. Well, I was hoping that the judge would have let me go home to have my baby. You know.
You have
but,
60 seconds remaining.
No,
okay,
he did not allow that. He okay.
Hold that thought. We're gonna get that. We're gonna get back to that. Behind the Walls Talk will continue. Back to Behind the Walls Talk with Miss Fana Felton. And Miss Felton, you were saying that you was thinking that the judge was going to allow you to go home to have your child. Could you continue what you were speaking about?
Yes, I was thinking that he would at least let me go home, you know, and have my baby and say my goodbye to the rest of my children. But no, as soon as he said that, the police came in there in the courtroom, and it was like they thought I was going to run or something. I'm like, I'm 8 months pregnant. I'm not running nowhere, you know. I'm here. I've been here every day, you know. So they just arrested me, you know, and took me to the county.
Okay, I would like to ask you, like, what was your experience having a child? What did you go through? What was the process?
Oh man, it was terrible. It was so heartbreaking. Like, I'm
this
sorry
call is from a
if I
North
get
Carolina
loud
correctional facility.
if I get emotional, because I'm just very passionate when I speak. So I don't want you guys to think.
This call is from a North Carolina correctional facility.
I don't want you guys to think I'm yelling or anything, but
no, it's okay. It's okay.
It was very hard because I never had to have a baby and, you know, give that baby away, you know. Well, he's with his father, but I just never had to be separated from my children. And it was very, very hard, and I'm still dealing with it now. It's still hard. It does not get easier, you know. And I was nervous. I was scared because I'm like, okay, I'm in prison. They're taking me to the doctor to have this baby, and I had to have a C-section. This was my first C-section out of 7 kids. So I was like, oh my God, something will go wrong. They're not going to take care of me because, you know, I'm an inmate, or, you know, so a lot of emotions and a lot of things was going through my brain, and I was not at ease at all. But through the grace of God, I did get through that delivery. Hallelujah. So I just, it was hard. It was hard to have to give my son up. And right after I had my baby, you know, everything was good. Me and him, I let him sleep in bed with me, you know, for the 3 days I had to stay there. And, you know, I just loved on him and loved on him and loved on him. And once I had him, the officer, when it was time for me to leave, the officer just got rude. Like the experience being in the hospital, let me just say this, it was really awful because they kept all the lights on in the room. I'm like, please, can you turn the lights off? Like, I'm trying to put this newborn baby to sleep. Please. They was very disrespectful, having this TV loud, you know. And I'm like, I get it, but I just had a baby. Like, can we just, you know, be a little concerned? Like, we all human, right? But it was really bad. The officers just did not care. And then the third day when I was leaving the hospital, I had to say my goodbyes to my son. I was getting in the car, and the officer, she was just like, hurry up, you know. And I'm like, you know, I just got stitches and stuff. I just had a baby, and she was just really rude, and it was from a woman. That's why I was like, oh my God, like, you know, wow, I was really shocked.
Yeah, I'm sorry to hear that you had to go through it like that. And, you know, kind of that unprofessionalism again. You know, yeah. they hire these people to look over us, and they have this mission statement that they have, right, with their conduct, the behavior, the ethics, and everything that they're supposed to go by. But it's like, you know, they don't follow none of that. They don't care about none of that.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's like
They absolutely don't.
Because you definitely shouldn't have had to go through that, especially with you just having a child and everything, and then having the TV turned up loud, just being disrespectful. They're supposed to have concern and consideration for what you're going through and what you just went through.
Mm-hmm.
And with this interview, I hope that we can make sure that we expose everything that's going on. Whenever you have women that are having children that are incarcerated, they shouldn't have to go through conditions such as these. And this should be investigated. This should be looked at. This should be, taken into consideration of every other.
Because when you have, I'm sorry.
No, go ahead.
No, I was just going to say because when you are incarcerated and you're having a child, it's really hard and it's scary. It's even scarier when you're on the outside having a child because there you can have your family and they can watch over you. They see the baby when the baby comes out, and you have that extra support. When you in here, it's just like all these strangers looking at your business. And, now you're thinking about yourself, you're thinking about your health, and then you also thinking about the little one that you bringing into this world. So it's very scary, and it's, all I can say is pray, and that's what I did. And I have a beautiful baby boy, he's healthy, and so I just thank God.
What's his name?
His name is Conceited with a K.
Hey, at this moment, will you tell me the names and how old your other children are? Because you say you have 7 children, right?
I do. My first, she's Anaya. She's 17. She's working 2 jobs. I'm telling her, don't overdo it, mommy. And she's thinking about joining the Navy, and her mind is on her shoulders, really good. And I'm just really proud of her. My 6-year-old, my son Jeremiah, he's having a little bit of time right now, and that's understandable. He feel like nobody is there because like my kids is I'm all they know. I was a single mom, and so for this, it changed all of them.
This call is from a North Carolina correctional facility.
And it was a wrecking ball through our world. But he's having a tough time right now, and I just...
This call is from a North Carolina correctional facility.
I have a 14-year-old daughter named Akila, and now that's my player warrior right there. She'll play the house off the roof, or the roof off the house. You hear me? So, that's my player warrior right there, Akila. She's 14. Then I have my son Josiah. He's 12, and he's thinking about he's going to get baptized in 2 days, and he decided to do that on his own. So I'm just thank God. And then I have my 7-year-old Nevaeh. She's so precious. But she's the wrecking ball in the family. She just be going through everything and just going crazy. And she's like, Mommy, I love you. She's like, Mommy, and she's so smart. But then I have my 4-year-old Zakaria. Oh my God, she's my twin all over again. She's so sweet. I was talking to her the other week, and she was like, "Look at the sky, Grandma. Look at the sky." And I said, "Why she telling you look at the sky?" She said, "It's about to rain." And I was just applauding, so shocked at a 4-year-old knowing how to tell that the weather is changing by looking at the sky. It was just amazing to me, and she's just so smart. And then I have my son, Conceited, with a K.
Okay. And, at this very moment right now, I know you've been incarcerated for 3 years now, and I know it's hard on you being away from your children and everything. Is there anything that you would like to say to all of them at this moment?
That I love you, 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 and I miss you so much. Each and every last one of y'all got a piece of my heart, and I'm proud of you guys. And this too shall pass, And we just have to stay prayed up and know that our family will be together again.
That's right.
Mm-hmm.
You're definitely right about that. I ask you, like, what was your childhood like?
Well, I was the only girl. I was the baby girl. And I grew up with my mom. You know, she was a single parent as well. But I also had my father in my life, you know, up until he got incarcerated. And you know, on my dad's side, my grandmother, she would take me to church. She would dress me up all pretty, and you know, and I'd be on the choir and you know, ushering and stuff like that. And she taught me a lot of things, and she showed me a lot of love. On my mother's side of the family, unfortunately, I didn't get that, you know, and it was very hard, you know, and it was very hard. It was very hard. It was almost like I was the black sheep, you know, and it's still like that today. Even with me being incarcerated, on my mother's side of the family, the support, I didn't get it. Like my grandmother on my father's side, she passed away, and that, you know, that hurt. That hurted me to the core. But with my family on my mother's side, the way they treated me, they tried to treat my children when I got incarcerated, you know, and because I try to shelter my children from that, so I didn't really take my children, you know, like to the get-togethers. We would go, but we wouldn't stay longer, you know, because I felt uncomfortable. I felt like everybody looked down on me, you know. I got 7 children, I'm young. You know, I started young and stuff like that, but I was doing the best that I could, you know, and I tried, and I tried to raise my children to be very respectful. But they started treating my children the same way they was treating me when I was a little kid, which was horrible. Like I said, my 17-year-old daughter, she works, she go to school, and you know, she's thinking about going to the Navy, you know. And some of my family members would be like, oh, you know, just putting her down. And it was really heartbreaking because it's like, I didn't want them to relive what I went through. But, you know, so, I don't know.
Let me ask you something.
Okay.
What do you see for your family when you get out? What do you see for your family? What's the future? What do you see?
I see blessings on top of blessings. I see blessings on top of blessings. I know we're going through it right now, and I know we're separated, but I'm going to speak it into existence, baby. Me and my children are going to be together again. I'm going to love them. I'm going to shower them with all the loves and hugs and the kisses, and, you know, we're going to be a family eating meals together again, going to the beach together, you know, so... Yeah,
right.
I think
you have 60 seconds remaining.
Just hold that thought. Behind the Walls Talk will continue. Back with Behind the Walls Talk with Miss Fana Felton. And Miss Felton, I'd like to ask you something, like, you know, the children, the youth out there in society, they go through a lot now. You know.
Oh God, yes.
Yeah, I would like to ask you a question. Like, what would you say to the youth out there that needs encouragement, upliftment, something that will motivate them to find a career for themselves other than a life of crime and intriguing?
I would just say, like, first and foremost, you have to stay prayed up. You know, you have to believe in a higher power and know that whatever struggle or whatever situation you're going through, that it will pass and you will get through it, you know. And I just say, like, try your best to do do what you're supposed to do, finish school, you know, stay out of trouble. Because once you get in this system on this other side, it's hard to get out. It's very easy to get in, but it's hard to get out. And that's what the young folks don't know. Like, that we become slaves to the system. But I speak over every last one of these young folks that's listening today that these curses are going to be broken. It ain't going to be no
This
more
call is from a
slavery.
North Carolina correctional facility.
Slavery to the system and stuff like that. And, you know,
This call is from a North Carolina correctional facility.
I just say stay strong, you know, and stay in them books. And just be the best you can be.
That's right. It's definitely a curse. And it's been a curse since we came into the shores of this land. From slavery all the way up to now, with mass incarceration. And it's a curse that you definitely are right about that needs to be broken. You know?
Yep.
So I definitely understand exactly what you're speaking about. And there you said a mouthful with that. So, you know, we need to, one thing about it is we need to dismantle this prison industrial complex, and we need to amend the 13th Amendment. It needs to be amended. And it needs to be taken out of the Constitution, you know, because that's the thing that puts us back into slavery. So, definitely right about breaking that generational curse.
Amen.
And change the temperature a little bit. I know you were speaking earlier about the death of your grandmother, you know, and is there anyone else that has passed away and everything since you've been incarcerated?
Me and two of my children lost their father. You know, he passed away. You know, and a few friends, a few really good friends, you know, like, okay, so, you know, you have family, and you're not able to choose your family, right? But you create family. Like, you meet people, and they could become your family. You meet some of you meet people, and they become family to you. And
that's right.
I've lost some family, you know, along the way, and it's hurtful, and, you know, but all I can say is you can't let this prison stuff break you, because it's meant to break us. It's meant to break us. It's designed to break us, and we can't allow it to break us.
So what you're saying is they're not going to count you amongst the broken ones, right?
That's right.
Yeah, that's what my idol, George Jackson, says. That's a famous quote that he has of his own, you know, and I use that quote because that's the same way that I feel too as well. They would never count me amongst the broken ones.
That's right.
Hey,
yeah.
Will you tell the listeners of Behind the Walls Talk what a second chance in society means to you?
Oh God. Yes, it would mean that I get to be with my children. I get to cook a meal for them. I get to watch over them. I get to rest knowing that they're safe. You know, I mean, it's all about, to me, it's all about my children. Like I just want to be with my kids. You know, be with my family. I love them so much. So that's my motivation, you know, and that's what saves me from, from a lot of things we hear. Because I think about them, and I'm like, you know, I'm trying to get home to them. I'm trying to make it home to them. I'm trying to do the right thing for them. Because, like I said before, I'm trying to break generational curses with them. I refuse to let this curse fall on my children, you know. So I'm breaking it, and whatever I got to do to break it, that is what I'm going to do. So, I mean, my second chance is just being home with my family, you know, being there with my kids, you know, watching. I remember us watching scary movies in the living room, and everybody like, you know. So that's my like. I want to hear that again. I want to be in the living room with them watching scary movies in the dark, and everybody smacking on snacks and stuff. Like, I want that, you know. I want that again.
Spoken like a true mother. That's what's up. Hey, that's what's up, man. If you did have the love and compassion that you have for your kids, you know, I really enjoyed this interview. It was very enlightening. And, you know, it was very informative. You know, with what you're going through in there with the staff and administration, with some couple of the situations that you faced and still is going through, you know, I wish the best for you, and you know, I'm gonna make sure that everything that you say is gonna get exposed to the system.
Yes.
I definitely enjoyed this interview. Is there any last words you would like to share with the listeners of Behind the Walls Talk?
I'll just say, you know, we need to come together as a unit, and we need to start praying. I know I keep saying praying and stuff like that, but our nation is falling, you know, and the way to lift it up is we need to come together, start praying, start loving one another.
This call is from a North Carolina correctional facility.
When we, as older adults, we see the young ones out there doing what they're not.
This call is from a North Carolina correctional facility.
We should speak wisdom into them, you know, so just to make everything just. I can't even explain it myself. But, yeah, I just feel like we just need to do better as the people. That's all.
That's right. You're definitely right about that. We definitely need to do better as a people. You know what I'm saying? We need to change the way we treat each other. You know?
Yeah.
How we come together, how we support each other. You know? Mm-hmm. Instead of looking at each other as distant strangers, we need to look at each other as brothers and sisters. You know.
Amen.
So, like I say, once again, I enjoyed the interview, and for you listeners out there on Behind the Walls Talk, I want y'all to support this sister, support her in her fight for freedom and redemption, and support her on returning to her family, her children, and, you know, make sure y'all support this sister, man. Her name, her office number, everything is going to be available to you. It's right there for you to contact her, support her any way that you possibly can, because this sister, she's a good sister. She's very genuine, and she's very passionate, and she loves her family, and she loves God, you know.
Yeah.
And with that said, peace from Behind the Walls Talk.